can't speak for everyone who's sharing a similar message to me because we can be a bit of a diverse bunch in this non-duality scene, but if I had to speculate, I'd guess that one of the most common objections we get is, I understand this all intellectually, but it's just not my experience. And so I'll try my best to address this and help as many of you as possible past this apparent stumbling block. Now, I remember a time when I was completely possessed by my thinking. And I think this is the case for a lot of people. We are completely possessed by our minds. And to many of us, it seems like it must be such a simple, obvious trap to get out of, and yet we just can't seem to break free. I would sit there thinking, how do I stop thinking? How do I stop thinking? But hang on, even asking this question is just more thinking. So how do I stop thinking this? This is just even more thinking. And so I understand the frustration that you might be feeling. So let me guide you through something that should help you see beyond this. Now, it may click at any point during this process. The invitation is to stop whatever else you're doing and follow along. Now, would you agree that there is a space in which everything that's appearing right now is appearing in? You don't have to understand this. Just look around the edges, the periphery of your vision. I think you'd at least agree with me that there is a kind of space in which everything appears. Now, I want you to put your focus on and pay attention to any random object in the place that you're at. Let's say for me, it's this perfectly ripe avocado here. If I look at and focus on this avocado, this is what I'm giving my attention to. Now, I want you to look at a different object in the space. Let's say for me, it's this perfectly ripe banana here. Now, when I changed what I was looking at from the avocado to the banana, I didn't have to think about that. I just moved my attention. And when you moved your attention from one object to the next, you didn't do that by thinking about it. You moved your attention from one object in the space to another. Now, continue to focus on that second object. And now pay attention to any random sensation in the body. It could be the feeling of your butt on the chair, or a sensation inside your body. Don't concern yourself with what it is. Just pay attention to the physically felt sensation for a moment. Now, when you moved your focus and attention from whatever you were looking at to the bodily sensation, you didn't have to think about that. You moved your attention from one object in the space to another. In this case, a feeling, a sensation, which is another object of experience arising, appearing in this space. Everything you experience, vision, thoughts, feelings, etc., they all arise in this same space, right? Now pay attention to anything you can hear. Just notice hearing. You're not using the mind, the thinking, to do that. You're moving your attention from a feeling appearing in this space to the sounds appearing in this space. Now notice any thoughts that are effortlessly arising in this space. Try to focus on any thoughts appearing. Again, you're not thinking about that. You're moving your attention from the sounds in this space to the thoughts in this space. So, can you see now that there is a completely different faculty within you that isn't thinking? It's attention, and it doesn't depend on thinking. It's prior to, before thinking, because it can even focus on the thoughts. So hopefully now we have proven to you at least one thing. If you wanted to experience or know anything about attention, ultimately you could never get there by thinking. You'd have to do something else. You'd have to look before the thinking. You see, many of you want to progress past or move beyond thinking, and I get it. But really, it's actually about going before the thinking, right? It's about noticing your immediate reality. Now, when we are giving attention to something, we are in a state of attention. You see, it's in the words. Attention. When a rubber band is stretched from one point to another, it's in attention. Imagine your attention like a rubber band stretching from the source of attention to any of those objects you were giving attention to, and then moving around in this space to the other objects of experience, still in the same state of tension. Now, what happens when we let go of the rubber band and it's not in a state of attention anymore? That's right, it springs back and expands outwards, right? Now notice, if this is the source of attention and this is the object of attention, you can't give attention to the source because it's only in attention when it's stretched towards the object. When the tension relaxes, it naturally springs back to its source. So now, relax the attention from whatever object in this space and allow it to relax. Allow your focus to defocus. Allow your attention to naturally zoom out. So instead of focusing on one particular thing, you're aware of everything. Notice that you can't put in energy or effort into giving attention to that because it's naturally present as the relaxed state. The rubber band is resting in its source of attention naturally in its relaxed state. It's the suspension of awareness focusing onto thought activity and instead awareness being aware of itself. Now, when I'm banging on about you are infinite consciousness or you are infinite awareness or whatever other non-duality speak I'm spouting, this is what I'm pointing at. And when you're saying, I get it intellectually, but I just can't see it for myself, it's like you're keeping that rubber band stretched towards the thinking and focusing on where it's stretched to, when I'm talking about the source of where it's being stretched from and its naturally relaxed and expanded state. In fact, apart from focusing on the other things that you've given attention to in your life, you've probably spent most of your life focused on thinking. And not only that, but believing yourself to be the character in whatever thought narrative appears, thinking you're the one doing it. It's like you've been listening to an audio drama, which features the thoughts of the character, and believing those thoughts to be yours and that you're actually doing them, not realizing it's just sound and you don't have to actually believe that you're actually it. And maybe more objections of the character come up, but I still can't see it. Or, I can see what you're talking about, but I keep forgetting it. Still looking away from it, still looking at the new thinking. Look before the thinking. When I say you are infinite consciousness, I'm talking about noticing that you're not that character or even just the body and mind. I'm pointing to the fact that all of that arises in this boundless space of consciousness, and this is your true nature. I'm saying that if you can notice you're this consciousness, and not the character, and gradually relax into that revelation, your whole life will transform in miraculous ways. Now, of course, all the metaphors and pointers break down in the end. Is it exactly like a rubber band? No. Is it about staying in some constantly relaxed state? No. I'm simply using words to attempt to point to something that is beyond all words, metaphors, and concepts, not because it's wild and exotic, because it's so simple, it's hiding under your nose. And when it's noticed, it's not necessarily going to be this mind-blowing thing where the penny drops and it clicks and a bright light switches on. It might be. It might be a huge relief, like, holy shit, thank fuck, I'm not that person character. You might burst into fits of hysterical laughter. But it might not be emotional at all. It might be extremely subtle, like a subtle knowing or a subtle, I see that. I remember. And it might be pretty boring to the mind, like it's too simple and too subtle, and the mind wants something else to get its teeth into, about thinking that it must be something super exotic and mind-blowing. It's your true nature, which is everything, the simpleness of everything, this whole appearance, this whole space which is full of everything. In a way, it's simply this. But if you want the full fruits of awakening, you must continue to look at this and investigate whether what I'm saying about it is true. When I say things about this awareness, this consciousness, your true nature being peace and love, you have to look at it and live as this to see if it's true for you. And you're not going to get there by believing that you're a separate individual who can think about it or making excuses as to why you apparently can't see it. It doesn't require you to be intelligent or intellectual. You have to stop and look at it for yourself. It doesn't mean that you'll disappear or that you'll suddenly feel ecstatic for the rest of your life or that everything will magically happen for you without you doing anything. The character still appears. It's just now you know that it's not the fundamental reality of who you are. And if that is true, whether it's mind-blowing or completely mundane to your mind, it's profound. And so what implications does this revelation have for your life? Because if you are in fact this boundless consciousness and not the characters appearing inside of it, what other qualities does this consciousness have? You thought you were the character with the limitations of the character. If you are in fact this space of consciousness as which the character appears, what is the true power of consciousness? You're not going to get there by thinking about it, as we've just proved. You have to look at it directly to find out for yourself. For one-on-one coaching inquiries, go to speaktoalex.com. And please, if you hope to have a quick chat that's going to make it click, don't book a call. It's all in my videos. I've put it all there. This is only for those who are serious about potentially investing in support for your awakening and instigating rapid positive life transformation. If that's you, go to speaktoalex.com and we'll have a casual chat to see if it's a good fit for us. That's speaktoalex.com. Peace.